Hi, I'm Josh Bowman, Product Manager for Cumulex, and in this video we're going to learn about using the config calculator here in the partner portal. So once we have our scope set, we're going to choose config calc, we're going to choose new session. So the first tab we'll come across is deployment. We will have site plan, which is, will this be a multi-site or a single site design? We'll start with multi, and we'll go with 2 sites. Next, we have the options for QX Control Pro, which is our cloud-based offering, or QX Control 1. So we're going to go with Pro, and then we'll choose Next. Next, we need to add cameras to this configurator. Now we could, if we had several different types, we could, enter all of those individually. In this case, we're going to say that this is basically all the same scenario in terms of size. And we're going to say these are 4 megapixel cameras. And we'll just choose an average frame rate of 15. We'll choose medium amount of motion. And we're going to say that we would like to have 7 days of cloud storage configured as well. Now we save, and that will, as you can see, enter the information. So now we'll go to doors, and we'll just put some sample doors in here. And you can see that that selection is now saved as well. So now we have some resources here. We got 25 cameras, we got 10 doors. Next, let's go to the bandwidth calculator. Now, what this does is this helps you understand how your system will operate both at average and peak conditions based on the bandwidth available to you. There is a speed test you can run if you are on site, but we could also enter the information if we happen to know it. So let's say this customer has a 1 gig connection. And we're going to say that they're allowed to use 60% of that, and the rest is saved for other systems. And there's no end to the amount of configurations you could put in here. This is all just for a sample. But what you can see here is based on the number of resources that we've selected and how much motion and all of those factors, it is saying that on average, we're going to use about 12.5 megabit of bandwidth. At peak, we're going to use 100. And you can see over here, based on the amount of bandwidth we've set as available, it's showing that in average conditions we are well under budget, and still pretty well under budget even at peak. If you see red, another thing we can try, if you cannot increase the bandwidth, is to go back and maybe lower frame rate, use lower resolution streams, so you can use this tool to help kind of dial in where you need to be to make the system work effectively. So after we choose next, then we're going to choose what type of gateway appliance we would like to use. So we could choose a compact, desktop, we could use a 1U or 2U. We also have options for standard performance. We also have the upgraded. So on the link and station devices, upgraded means that you're going to have a much higher level of capability in terms of processing and RAM, so that we can have more devices connected. We also have the upgraded and RAID, which is our QX Power series. In our case, I'm going to stay with a 2U that is upgraded so that I can use as few gateways as possible. And since I've chosen cloud storage, I have the option here to choose outage resilience. What this will do is this will impact the amount of local storage that the configurator recommends so that we meet our desired outage resilience. This will be expressed in hours. And we'll say I would like 106. The other thing that we can do here is if we have a desire to have, say, 30 days locally as well as 7 days in the cloud or 30 days in the cloud, whatever the case may be, we can actually make sure that we have enough storage both on the gateway as well as the cloud. And that is our hybrid local storage duration. By default, that will pop up at 30 days, but we could type or use the slider to change that to whatever we like. You can also see down here that based on all of our calculations, it's giving us a window into what is required. If I were to change that to 60 days, you could see that that doubled the amount of local storage required. So if we're pleased with our selections here, we can go to Next. And you can see here now we've begun to populate a bill of materials. We have 2 sites with the same configuration. So we have 70 of the QXPs. We have 50 of the subscriptions for 7-day storage. So that would be 25 at each site. And at each site, we would have both a QXStation 500 2U gateway with 10 terabyte. And we also have the upgrade kit, which allows us to get more devices per gateway. Had we not chosen the upgrade, you would actually see 4 of these QXS 500s, and you would have seen none of the upgrade. After that, we choose Next, and we're going to provide a name. Ideally, this should be the name of the customer or the project. You can also make any notes here, and these could be notes for your sales representative, such as, please double check me. So now we're going to choose Save. And we have now saved this config. In the next module, we will show how we can take this straight into a project registration. Thank you.